week started with torrential downpours and lots of rain, and Moto 1 and 2 certainly made for an exciting beginning to the 35th running of the Rocky Mountain ATV AMA Amateur National Motocross Championship here at Loretta, Lynn's, presented by AMSOIL. Hello, everyone, and welcome to RacerTV.com's live and continuing coverage of this 35th Amateur National Motocross Championship as we pick the racing action up here today on race 25, the 450B class, off and rolling here in Moto number 2, and it's the 95 of Jake Masterpool that everyone is going to be gunning for, but the number 16 of Ashton Dickinson out of Cairo, Georgia, taking the whole shot, the Bell Helmets Whole Shot Award here in Moto number 2 and snagging the early lead. He took a second place finish in Moto number 1, so obviously this early lead in Moto number 2, or at least the drop of the gate lead in the Moto number 2, has put him in a great position. Masterpool, though, to the front of the pack aboard the number 95 as Dickinson moves in and drops into the number 2 spot. We see the 46 back there of Francisco Urisha in the number 3 position. We see Jairi Mitchell. The 96 is 4th. Wilson Fleming rounding out the top 5 on board the number 17. Then it's Corey Karsten, the number 31 in 6th. That's Barry Karsten's son. Corbin Hayes, the number 25, opens up in 7th place. Austin Watling, the 42, in 8th. 9th is Samuel Thurman aboard the 51, and rounding out the top 10 is Hayden Humphreys. Masterpool beginning to amass a pretty comfortable lead here at the beginning of the race, already 2.3 seconds over Dickinson. Then another 1.2 back to Urisha for the number 3 position. In 4th place, only 0.6 of a second back was Jairi Mitchell, so that seemed to be where the stiff competition was starting to unfold right there, and we pick up that action here on RacerTV.com as these riders begin their battle heading back through the Storyland area. We can also throw into the mix of things, it looks like the 31 of Corey Karsten as well, as he's not far off the pace right now. Maybe that might even be Corbin Hayes up to the number 6 spot around Corey Karsten now, but we are starting to see the face of this race about the 4th and 5th place tighten up and start to shape up for a great battle here in this 450B Moto 2. Matt Watson, I tell you what, as we look at this racetrack, as great as it looks right now and as much of a race face it has developed, we are looking at the best conditions we have seen since Monday's practice. For those of you tuning in on RacerTV.com, and we've already seen lap times down as low as 1:57s, an 0.94 if memory serves me correct, and that was turned there just a few moments ago in that Schoolboy 2 class.
Yeah, and when you take a look, you mentioned RacerTV.com right now going on. Take a look at the coverage right now. What you see is an amazing, perfect racetrack in your mind. It's only going to get better the rest of the day, Rodney. This is probably some of the finest conditions we've seen all week, but you know what? Things only about to get better as we continue through Friday afternoon's program and work our way into the finals.
Exactly. If you look at the big picture here, we're only about 5 races behind schedule, and we've had about 5 inches of rain so far this week. So when you put that into perspective, man, the crew here at MX Sports and the Amateur National Championship have done a most excellent job of getting us and keeping us close to on time, all things considered. In reality, looks like if things go well today, we'll pick up in tomorrow and certainly be on time, if not before that. And that should set the stage for some great championship motos. And tomorrow we will be broadcasting live all motos beginning at 7:30 tomorrow morning through the conclusion of it. So we'll get all the third motos in on Racer TV. So we'll get to see all the champions crowned here in 2016.
Absolutely amazing. And talk about the numbers we've seen on Racer TV.
60,000 plus unique viewers yesterday alone.
How important is this event, Rodney, to the country? And you know what? International viewers. Yeah, international viewers on top of that. But that lets you know that it is the biggest competition in amateur national motorsports.
And the reason is because we get to see great things like this right here. Wilson Fleming and Jairi Mitchell battling right now for that number 4 position as they make their way out of Storyland. And look behind them in the 7 and 8 spots. We got Corbin Hayes and I believe also Corey Karsten. We got Hayden Humphrey back there. A lot of position jockeying going on from about 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place positions. But Jake Masterpool now nearly 5 seconds ahead. And if you look at the lap times, about 2.5 to 3 seconds faster than everyone else on the racetrack, including second place Ashton Dickinson. And that near 5-second lead at the end of lap number 2, I am going to assume is going to be somewhere close to about 7 seconds this time around. Masterpool coming around the final turn. 46 down. Francisco Urisha now He's going to hand things over to Jairi Mitchell, so Mitchell's going to have a little bit of ground to make up, about 4 or 5 seconds, but you never know. Mitchell might be trying to put his hat in the bid for that second-place position. We'll be keeping an eye out on the 16 of Dickinson.
Rodney taking no time to get down into the 2-minute and sub-2-minute range. You said 1:57, our fastest here today. No time at all to get down to those levels. When we get down to it today, I'm looking, Rodney, our A classes and stuff, we may get down sub 155 maybe.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit, Megawatt, to be honest with you. I mean, we've already seen the 157s, and we haven't even seen the pro sport classes out on the track yet, so there's a good possibility that that very thing could be happening, and I would not be a bit surprised as we wrap up 3. It's Masterpool, Dickinson. Mitchell does take over the number 3 spot. Wilson Fleming gets around for 4th now. Corey Karsten is up to 5th. Austin Watling in 6th. Bryce Maudlin is now 7th place. Francesco Uricia actually dropping back now to the number 8 spot. Samuel Thurman is 9th, and rounding out the top 10 then is Carter Hutchinson. Corbin Hayes is 11th. Cruz Smith is 12th in the number 13 spot. Logan Chambers, we got Race Baker in the number 14 spot. Chris Williams in 15th. James Berry is 16th as we look. Leo DeMaestri is running in the 17th spot. Brent Carson is 19th. Nick Hess rounds out your top 20. Jake Masterpool, the fastest lap in this one, a 201.5 megawatts. So we've seen those laps down in the 157s, 158s, 159s consistently there a few moments ago. The B class, a fast pace in these guys for these 450 class riders as well. Still at just over the 2-minute mark, but don't be surprised to see them dipping down in the 159s before the conclusion of this one as well.
Yeah, we're wholly expecting that, and what we're going to do is we're going to watch this thing come around just a little bit more, and then it's really going to get rough. Then we're really going to start to see a few more of the braking bumps, the acceleration bumps, and the ruts are going to get a bit deeper. But right now, just almost at the pinnacle of perfect conditions out there, seeing things tighten up just a little bit out there right now. Looks like Masterpool still down in that 2:01 second range, and should be making his way back around to the finish here in just a moment, trying to locate him on the track right now. There they are. They're coming around over by the pond right now, back in front of the scorer's tower, so should see those guys coming across timing and scoring here in just a second.
A few notes of interest for this race 25. By the way, Ashton Dickinson goes, I believe, by Jenner Dickinson on the number 16 Yamaha. His best result in the National was second at the 2016 Freestone race in the college boy class. At the 2014 Loretta's, he broke his collarbone in a warm-up lap and didn't get a chance to participate. Again, his real first name is Ashton, but his dad nicknamed him Jenner for his orange and red hair, and it stuck. His goal is to win both classes. And right now, Jenner Dickinson in the number 2 spot, about 11 seconds back in this 450B class. He's still in contention for the national championship, hinging and depending on what takes place there in Moto 2. There's the 31 machine we're watching right now. That's Corey Karsten. He's on board that Bromley Suzuki, the son of the great Barry Karsten out there. And we've watched this young man grow up through the amateur national ranks as well over the course of the last few years. I can remember when this young man was first introduced to us, I think in the 65s, maybe the 80cc classes, and he is certainly making a name for himself here as he progresses through his career up to a number 5 ride in a highly competitive 450B class here at the Amateur National Finals. Austin Watling back in 6th. Francisco Uricia is now in the, I can't even say that one, probably not even close, but 7th place after that little tip over for him. Bryce Maudlin is 8th. Samuel Thurman in 9th. Carter Hutchinson rounds out your top 10 now as we see a few changes throughout the top 10. Wilson Fleming, whom we are watching out there on the number 4 spot. Something interesting for him. He began training at MTF after graduating high school in 2014. We've seen a lot of great progression for him, but believe it or not, Wilson Fleming, you may not recall him through the youth ranks and so forth growing up, because actually his first national race was not until the Mini O's in 2013, and since that time he has really made some major advancements in his abilities and career. So you got to give it up to Wilson Fleming, getting off to such a late start in his racing career and running a solid top 5 and, like we say, a highly competitive 450B class here at the ranch.
Oh, yeah, this is one of those tough classes at all times. Doesn't matter how you slice it, how you dice it. These guys, just in that point in their career, you know, getting really rolling, getting ready to make the move up maybe in another season or two, and these guys really just closely matched. And the level of competition and, let's just say, competitive fire amongst these guys is amazing.
It most certainly is. And Masterpool maintains this #1 spot, now 15-second lead over Jenner Dickinson. Jairi Mitchell in the #3 spot. Wilson Fleming is 4th. Corey Karsten again is 5th. As we wrap up lap #6 here in just a few moments, we'll see if there's much of a change. Look at the lap time. We see a Sebastian Lave posting a 150.6. I think that might have been a he must have gotten off course out there someplace. But I was going to point it out. A 2-minute point, I think it's 5.68 for Jake Masterpool. So he is getting close to that 2-minute time. I said I wouldn't be surprised to see those riders break the 2-minute barrier. So he's getting very close with that 2-minute lap time that last time around. Now on lap 6, he dropped to a 2:02, but he has now about a 17 or 18-second lead. So I can see where the room for comfort comes in there and an opportunity to relax in these closing moments of the 450B class.
Yeah, what happens though, Rodney, is you don't want to relax too much. You don't want to really have just small lapse of concentration and stall the machine or, you know, fall over in one of these deep ruts. You know, might not be anything big, but it could be just enough to allow somebody to close that gap.
Jenner Dickinson now in the #2 spot, some 18 seconds back, but solid there for that ride. A 2nd place in Moto 1 behind the 95 of Jake Masterpool puts him in 2nd place as far as the running and the overall and the championship is concerned. By the way, Jake Masterpool, the 95 out of Paradise, Texas, 17-year-old rider, brought to us by Horton Racing as well as Yamalube, Blue Crew, Thor, and GYTR. Also the good buddies over there at Rock River Yamaha helping out Jake Masterpool, the #95. Ashton Dickinson, a.k.a. Jenner Dickinson, aboard the #16. He took 2nd in Moto 1 on his Yamaha, a 17-year-old rider out of Cairo, Georgia. He's on a Talk Access Factory Connection MTF Shameless Youth Answer Dunlop backed and Blue Crew backed Yamaha in the #2 spot. Jairi Mitchell, the #96, in that 3rd place position out of Bermuda. He's on a south of the border motocross mom and dad and Real Inc. Graphics backed Yamaha, 18-year-old rider, welcoming Jairi Mitchell here out of Bermuda. Then Wilson Fleming, whom we talked about there a moment ago, he is brought to us by the MTF 7, Scott, Brewer Cycles, as well as Factory Connection. That's your top 4, and 5th place, Barry Karsten, the 31 machine, rolling through these final laps out here right now, brought to us by Bromley's, as well as MSR, Scott Bellray, KPS, Arai, and Bob's RV. 7 laps down now for Jake Masterpool, settling into a now 2:03 lap time. That gap probably still somewhere in the neighborhood of 20-plus seconds as we watch our leader, Jake Masterpool, here on the Amsoil last lap. Moto #2 for this 450B class. Jenner Dickinson now 23 seconds back as he has dropped his lap time to a 2:07. He's found some comfort. No need in pushing the envelope here late in the moto as the gap has really widened. 11 seconds back to the 3rd place position of Jairi Mitchell. He's holding steady now at a 2:08. His fast lap time matching near Dickinson's at the 2:04 range. Wilson Fleming with a 2:09 in, another 11 seconds back in 4th. And Corey Karsten about 3.5 seconds back in that #5 position. One thing that I've noticed throughout the course of the week is the intensity of these battles through the first half and 2/3 of the race. It's not until the final third of the race, or quarter even sometimes, that we start to see things stretch out and we start to see 5, 10, even as much as 15-second gaps throughout our entire top 5 out there, which is something untraditional. If you look back to previous years, you might take note that we had a lot of last lap passes, last lap and last turn drives that changed a lot of the overall finishes as well as national championships, but we have yet to see that come into play so much this year. the battle has been on the racetrack and against the racetrack for a big part of that through the first part of the race, and the last part has been, well, a matter of who has made the least amount of mistakes and been able to traverse the technical terrain that Loretta Lynn's has afforded us here in 2016. The final lap, in amongst the lap traffic, the number 95, Jake Masterpool, heading to do it. Another one of the consistent rides. We didn't expect to see a lot of 1-1 at this particular point, but so far we are seeing a few of those start to take shape. Even with the early conditions earlier in the week, and Jake Masterpool is one of the few right now that is holding on to a 1-1. And we'll head into the third and final moto with what looks like a pretty good situation unfolding for him. Jake Masterpool will take second. Jenner Dickinson, we see now, has checked in the second place position. And unless some major malfunction happens for the 96 at Jairi Mitchell, he should be able to hang on for the number 3 spot. And we'll be heading down to the Race Tech post-race interview, brought to you by Racetech Race Engines and Engine Services. Racetech is now offering a full line of performance and rebuild services, including valve jobs, porting, honing, decking, and more. Make sure you visit them here at the ranch or online at racetech.com. Things are looking pretty good. Rodney Tomlin, Megawatt Matt Watson down at the podium right now, and Jason Wygant and Kevin Kelly standing by, ready to take the handoff. Coming up next, got to commend Jason Wygant on his fortitude and apologize for expecting and putting a big load on his shoulders there yesterday. But you know what? Jason's got some broad shoulders. He carried a lot of weight yesterday, and good job. Jason not only announces during these events, but he's also a major contributor to Racer X Illustrated and Racer X Online. Hey, we need Taylor Knight and Maxwell Kiefer to the MX Sports office, please. Once again, Taylor Knight and Maxwell Kiefer, please report to the MX Sports office trailer. Megawatt Matt Watson on the podium with our top 3.
All right, thanks, Rodney. Down here with our winner, Jake Masterpool, 450B. Jake, really great ride. Impressive, man.
Oh, thank you.
Opened up a pretty good gap there. Just about a half a second a lap for about 3 laps, dropping that time, picking up about a half a second for about 3 laps in a row. Kind of leveled off right there, right about the 2-minute mark, but just kept increasing the gap.
Yeah, just tried to focus on my own race and just riding smooth.
Any near misses out there? Any close calls?
Not really. A couple countering, but I just tried being pretty smooth.
Track almost perfect this morning?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really like hard packed. It's like a little like dry slick, but not dry slick, but it's just like hard packed, but it's good.
Awesome. Hey, who's helping out this week, Jake?
Just the whole Yamaha crew, Blue Crew, all those guys. Thor for hooking me up with the sweet gear. Monster. Very appreciative to be with those guys this year. Scott, keep me the lens clear and all that. And Dunlop for getting a pretty good start. And just everyone very appreciative.
Awesome. Congratulations to Jake Masterpool. Big win here this morning, 450B class. We're going to get our second place rider up here right now, Ashton Dickinson. I believe Ashton also getting the whole shot there this morning. So come on up here, Ashton. Let me get out of the way here. Still taking some pictures of Jake. There we go. Ashton, I'm going to let you put that around your neck, man. I don't make a very good trophy, girl. Come on over here in the middle of the podium, boss, so we can get some good pictures. Tell us a little bit about that ride. Looked pretty tough out there.
Oh, yeah. The track's not so bad right now. I mean, it's got some lines. I ended up getting the whole shot, which that helps a lot. So, but as soon as Jake got past me, I was in second, you know.
Looked like you were trying some creative lines out there. Looked like you were trying to, maybe cut some corners a little bit tight, maybe try to keep the momentum in a few spots. So.
Yeah, I was trying to do that. I mean, you got to mix things up when you're out there, you know.
Right on. Who you want to say thank you to, bud?
I'd like to thank my mum and dad, everyone from MTF, Answer, Garney, Factory Connection, and that's it.
Ashton, let's go ahead and get this Bell Whole Shot Award for you. If you want to grab that check there, step on up here in the middle of the podium. On behalf of Bell Helmets, we're proud to award you this $100 Whole Shot Award to Ashton Dickinson. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you.
All right, and coming up next, our third place finisher, and want to make sure, Jair Mitchell, come on up here, bud. Our third place finisher, making his way up right now, getting those goggles around the neck, making sure we're in good position to have everybody represented as we get up here for those podium photos. So, Yair, man, an incredible ride out there. Looked like you were going inside, outside. Looked like you were doing anything possible to make a race out of it, and, man, you did.
Yeah, I rode all right. Didn't get on pump, I just couldn't ride, but I'll come back up here the last moto, try to win.
Figure out some new stuff out there or pick up any tips?
Oh, yeah. It's a lot smoother. Tim from Erlin's been helping me a lot, so it should be all right.
Awesome, man. I know you got a lot of help in your corner. A lot of people believing in you this week. Who do you want to say thank you to?
Ryan? Yeah. Tim from Erlin's, the suspension's working great, and Sulphur Border for getting me up here. And grandparents, parents, Uncle Mikey, and everybody back home to help me get here.
Awesome. Congratulations, Yair Mitchell, with the 3rd place here. Make some noise for these guys, and we're going to send it back up to the tower right now.